Hello everybody, good morning. It is Championship Showdown Day in Macau. It is race 2. It is a fantastic weekend in the offing already, but for the FIA World Touring Car Cup by Oscaro, we've got 2 thrilling races ahead of us. I'm Jake Sanson, beside me is Matt Neal. Alexandre Legui is down in the pits. It's the reverse grid pole race, and that means that the double DTM champion Timo Scheider gets to attack the Macau circuit for the 2nd time in race trim from the front.
That's right, Jake. Yesterday morning there were 7 in line for the championship and having a stab at it, but after race 1 yesterday there is only 2 left. Hyundai's Gabriele Tarquini and Ivan Muller, both in opposing teams, but both with as much experience. And the points are in favour of Tarquini, who we can see here. The grid position favour and performance round here is in favour of the Muller court. So we have a seesaw, but as in Highlander there can only be one, which will be at the end of the weekend.
Interestingly, Jean-Carl Vernet taking the victory in race 1 has shot him up the standings into 3rd place, and there is still a technical chance that Jean-Carl Vernet could grab 2nd overall in the championship. Mathematically, he can actually overtake Muller if he has a bad run. In fact, all the way down to 8th place. If Rob Huff were to win both of these next 2 races, he could even take 2nd in the championship. Only just, but mathematically he does have enough points now that if he gets both wins, he could be the runner-up in the championship. It's a very long shot, but that's how close it is from 3rd to 8th in the standings coming into this one. But for the title, it's this man, Ivan Muller, 33 points back on Gabriele Tarquini. Tarquini's going to be starting in 14th for both of these races, therefore outside the points. Muller will start 5th for this one and 6th for the next one. If he gets 2 podium finishes, no matter where they are, he can win the title if Tarquini's out of the points. And he'll do it by 1 point if he gets 2 third places. That's how tight it is at the top.
Yeah, both of them are going to have their work cut out. You know, Gabriele, if he can pick up any points at all, it's going to be a bonus to just make Muller's life harder. But you know, Tarquini back in 14th. He's got some pretty strong names sat in front of him. He's got Ted Bjorg, Mehdi Benani, who's been fast and pretty wild in the VW. Esteban Guerreri been very fast in the Honda. Norby Michelitz, his teammate, okay. Vernet, you know, but then Muller's sat mid-pack. You know, for him to, you know, we saw in race 1 how difficult it is to overtake. You know, Vernet in the slippery Audi was about one of the few which could slipstream past them down the main straights. You know, in front of Muller, we got Verfish, Audi, we got Schneider, who's been quick in the Honda. Pepe Oriola, who knows his way around here. Again, he's pretty wild. So both of them have really got their work cut out.
I was actually talking to one of Mehdi Benani's former sparring partners last night, Tarek Almo. He used to race with him in karts back in Morocco. And he was very surprised that Mehdi had gone to pieces in quite the way he had in race 1, because generally when he's in a crowd, he either sinks or swims. And yesterday, he kind of sank all the way to the bottom, didn't he?
He sank all the way to the bottom and tried to take everyone else with him. He must have. I said, I hope he got a lot of checks in his checkbook when he went to the steward's office. But
he's got to buy everybody a pint that he ended up tangled with.
Everybody a drink. He managed to. I mean, he kept going. I don't know how, but it was like watching a Rocky movie.
One of the positive stories from race 1 yesterday was that we had 2 new drivers in the points for the first time. One of them was Timo Scheider, who got an 8th place finish. The other one was a 9th place finish for Luigi Ferrara. Neither of them had scored points at all this year coming into the first race at Macau, and now both of them have got a point score. So very good news, but for Timo Scheider, the double DTM champion now has a pole position at Macau. Now, just because you start at the front at Macau, and it's very hard to overtake here, that does not guarantee you're going to walk away with the race victory. Yesterday's first race is case in point. Huff started from pole, but J.K. Vernet beat him in the race.
He did. I'm just looking on here. It's Gabriele having a bit of a pat and a hug from Thiago Monteiro, former teammates at Seat, so they know each other well. Thiago's still out with injury. He came back last time at Suzuka for a bit of a test drive after a head injury in a testing accident last year. We You know, we're hoping Thiago's going to be fit for 2019, as are Honda. But yeah, he's really good mates with all of them. You know, it's a close community, but as I say, he's got a lot of history with Gabriele being former teammates.
So Timo Scheider cuts his way through the pack on the grid and takes up residency for his first ever pole position. Reverse grid though it may be, it's still a pole position for the first time in his very short FIA World Touring Car Racing Cup career. This, of course, is not a full campaign for him. This was only his 11th start of the season, and he's doing it from a reverse grid pole. He's only got 6 points from the season, all of which were scored in yesterday's race. So Timo Scheider is absolutely delighted about the fact that he would even get close to reverse grid pole. So he's on top of the world at the moment.
Yeah, I think he's done the the flyaway races. Jimmy Thompson did the original ones, and that was all he was meant to do at the beginning of the season. It was unsure. He was filling in for Rennie Munich and whether Rennie was going to do the flyaways, and then he decided he wasn't going to do the flyaways. So, but the problem is that cuts into Jimmy's party season. So Jimmy couldn't do it, and Timo was pulled in.
Here's your starting grid. Tarquini there down in the 7th row of the grid. You may have noticed that Muller is on the 3rd row alongside his nephew, Jan Ehrlacher. And Muller is going to start from 5th and 6th of the 2 races. There's a few names out of position you'll notice as well. We obviously saw Ted Bjork a long way down the field. That's because he hit the wall during the second qualifying session. Jean Jabot is actually going to get his first race start of the weekend there from 27th on the grid because mechanical problems kept him from setting a lap time in Q1. So he didn't start race 1. And Billy Lowe will be the 29th and last man in after the 2 other Macanese drivers, Lamkan Sang and Rui Valent, were not able to get into the races due to being outside the 105% qualifying rule. So the top 10 is a very exciting one, actually. That is Ma Jinghua, who is starting from 16th on the grid. He's not had a very positive weekend from his point of view. I think because he started to really get success at the end of the Citroën period in the TC1 regulations, I think he feels that he really should be at the front of these fields now because he's clicked with it. And in TCR, he hasn't quite grasped that yet.
Yeah, just because you get a touring car going well, and, you know, it doesn't mean you're then a touring car exponent. It's like one of these guys jumping into an Aussie V8. You know, they're going to have to work hard not to look stupid because the local talent, one, is very strong in Aussie V8s, but the car is just such a different animal, a different beast. And I always say it's not about making a car go fast or driving a car fast. It's about making a car dance because it's up on its tiptoes. There's, you know, we see them just driving around, racing. Okay, they're going at speed. But there's always a reason they're not going faster. The front's breaking away, the rear's breaking away. And if you can't see it on the TV, it's happening. You know, and they are fighting, and they have to fight hard around here. The surfaces, it's very tight, very twisty, very fast, blind, very bumpy in places. You can see from the tyres skipping across in the braking areas. That's Ted's historical pose now, isn't it? Whenever he gets the camera, out comes the heart.
That was so scripted. I love that. The tap on the shoulder, turn around. Heart, love it. We caught a look at Ted Bjork in qualifying, of course, when he hit the barriers, and he's been fighting back ever since. The crew did an amazing job to get the car repaired fairly quickly, but he lost a lot of track time.
It's been a tough weekend for Ted, hasn't it? He was in a strong 3rd place coming into in the championship coming into this weekend, and as you say, his free practice shunt, he put it hard into the wall down at Fisherman's, and the exit of Fisherman's, and he's been on a back foot then. He did a great job in qualifying. Almost made the top 12 for Q2, but not quite. So that sort of languished him down to the sort of mid part of the grid for all the races.
How tall an order is it for Gabriele Tarquini to get this title? Well, he's 33 points ahead of Ivan Muller at the moment. Muller has won races at the race of Macau in touring cars before. Muller's won the race here twice in the TC1 era. Gabriele Tarquini has been coming here pretty much since the renaissance of the World Touring Car Championship back in 2005. And in that time, he has competed every year at Macau, except for the last 3. And he has yet to win a race on the streets of Macau. He's come close. He's had 3 second places, but his last second position finish at Macau was back in 2009. a long, long time ago. So he knows more than most of the drivers here that you've just got to play the percentages and try and bring the car home in one piece. That's all he's really got to do from his position, because he's outside the top 10. He's outside of the points paying positions at this moment. So from his point of view, he's just got to dig deep and keep the faith.
Yeah, I mean, what you need in any sport, but motorsport as much as anything, you need luck. And that is especially so around this circuit. You need it to happen for you. You need so much can unfold in front of you, and you get caught up in someone else's accidents, as we saw in race 1, as we've seen in many previous years. And you go back to Muller and Tarquini. Both have been on the podium. Muller's won races, but both have also ended up in the hospital here in the past, in the wall. So it's a merciless place. You know, Tarquini is he's in a dangerous part of the grid, back in 14th. You know, if they all get round Lisboa and down the tight right-hander at the end of the first drag down on lap 1, it's a bonus. You know, and then again we saw Flash, Gordon Shedden, just clip the inside apex barrier and pitch him into the wall halfway through race 1. That stops the race, but everyone else got caught up behind him. So it's easy to get wrapped up in someone else's accident.
Do keep the conversation flowing with us through the 2 races today. On Twitter, we are at Jake Sanson and at Matt Neal Racing. Good morning to Phil Kinch, who asks an interesting question prior to the start of race 2. How many cars will make it through Lisboa on lap 1? 29 of them are starting. What do you reckon, Matt? Will they all make it through this time?
Well, where's Mehdi on the grid? He's 11th.
It sounds harsh to say it, but you've got a point.
He made a good few places. Now, this is going to be good to see Lachey. He's been on fire. He's got his mojo back, which is great to see. He had a engine penalty in race 1. He qualified well in Q1, but had an engine penalty, so pushed him to the back of the grid. But he's now in his rightful grid position, which is a 6th. So he's going to be alongside Uncle Ivan.
Now, Ivan starting 5th position. This is a golden opportunity. The 4 men he's got in front of him, you've got Scheider, Chekon, Vervish, Oriola. 2 of them have had a victory this year, Chekon and Suzuka. Oriola, earlier in the season, of course, he took the victory at Slovakia Ring in the first race. But Muller has been one of the more winning drivers over the course of the year, with wins at the Nürburgring, Villarreal and Ningbo. So Muller has definitely got an advantage over the 4 guys in front, because he's got the experience, he's been here before, he knows how to get the job done on the streets of Macau, he's won here twice. From his point of view, he will want to get stuck in fairly early to try and make as good a start as he made yesterday and get right into the heart of that top 3.
Well, I mean, the 4 guys in front in this race too start. The 4 guys in front of Muller have no bones. They've got no gripes with him, but they're going to do him no favours at all. They want to win their own race. They want to try and get on the podium. Muller's the plus points he's got is Jan Lachey will be like a teammate for him. Okay, he's in the Munich Honda, but you know, he's his nephew. He's Ivan's sister's son. So it's family, and he'll be. I'll be surprised if he wasn't acting like a bit of a wingman for him. You know, there's rumours that they could be going in the same stable of manufacturers next year. So I think that will be. And Ivan's got nothing to lose. He can throw caution to the wind, and he can go over the gaps, which are only half there. And you know, he can. If he throws caution to the wind, then it's pressure back on Gabrielli to try and pick up some points.
So here's the grid. Scheider and Chekon from the front row of the starting grid. The 40-year-old DTM double champion getting pole at Macau. Vervish and Oriola on the second row of the starting grid, with the championship contender Ivan Muller and his nephew Jan Lachey on the third row of the starting grid. Race 1 winner this weekend, Jean-Carl Venet, will line up in 7th on the starting grid alongside Norby Michelis, who is flying the flag as the leading BRC on the grid for this one. And then we have Esteban Guerreri and the Duke of Cambridge, Rob Huff, lining up in 10th on the starting grid. Mehdi Benali will line up beside Nathaniel Berton on the 6th row of the grid. Two big names on row 7, Ted Bjork and Gabriele Tarquini. He needs to get back in the points if he wants to pull away. Panis and Mar will line up together on row 8. Then it will be John Filippi and Gordon Shedden on row 9. Luigi Ferrara scored his first points of the season on row 10 along with Matteo Homola. Then Comte and Dupont will line up on the 11th row, Tom Coronel and Kevin Say. And then we have Nobanaji and Andre Couto. Jean Jarbo will line up beside Felipe Souza, and Billy Lowe will take up the back of the grid. Race 2 is nearly upon us. Two races to go in the FIA World Touring Car Cup by Oscaro. We're on the streets of Macau. The weather is dry, but it's going to be a very crazy race. It always is on the streets of Macau. Jake Sanson and Matt Neal in the commentary box. Down in the pit lane is Alexandre Le Gui, and we have two drivers fighting for the title. Gabriele Tarquini is 33 points ahead of Ivan Muller, but Tarquini is starting 14th outside of the points. Ivan Muller is starting 5th. The DTM double champion, Timo Scheider, starts from pole position, along with the Suzuka race winner, Kevin Chekon. Vervish and Oriola on row 2. From Muller and his nephew, Jan Erlacher. The race 1 winner from yesterday, Jean Carvenet, lines up alongside Norbert Michelis. Esteban Guerreri is alongside the Duke of Cambridge, Rob Huff, and the Macau specialist. This weekend, he's going for win number 10 in Macau, but I'm not sure he's going to get it very easily, Matt, in race 2. This is going to be a nail-biting race for so many different reasons.
That's right. I mean, we had rain promised to us for this weekend, which doesn't seem to have materialized. It's going to be a nice dry day, which is good for us, good for the racing. You know, we've got still a warm, humid day, though. It's going to reach about 25 degrees. So it's going to get fairly snug for those guys, and they'll be sweating a bit by the time, because the humidity is extremely high out here in Macau. So they just line up on the grid, making sure everything's warmed up. The tyres, no tyre warmers allowed, so they'll be trying to get some heat into those rear tyres as well as the fronts, not get too much wheel spin. Brakes nice and warm, clutch is warm but not too warm. They have a 10-stage procedure to try and get these things off the line. And the big lever there is not the gear lever, it's the handbrake, which is super important to try and get the car loaded up in readiness for the start.
This is going to be a really intense race, this one. Timo Scheider from pole position. Chekon, Vervish, Oriola, Muller and Erlascher, Vernet, Michelis, Guerreri and Huff in the top 10. Gabriele Tarquini, championship leader by 33 points, starting on the 7th row alongside Ted Bjork. It's time to get it on for the second time out of 3, the penultimate race of the season in the FIA World Touring Car Cup by Ascaro. The green flag flies at the back of the grid, and it's time for action, energy, and carnage potentially. Race is on. Good start by Timo Scheider. But there's a better start from Chekon. He's going to try and draw alongside. Scheider sweeps right across. Watch Muller. He's going to do it again. Trying to come around the outside of Vervish as they fly through the left-hander and up towards Hotel Mandarin. This is going to be a really strong start as they continue to battle their way in a straight line. Muller trying to get on the back of Chekon. He's going to go along with Vervish. Vervish is going to try and utilize the straight line speed of the Audi to get onto the back of Timo Scheider. A good clean start so far as they go through Hotel Mandarin and down towards Lisboa. 29 cars in the field. How many are going to get through? And there's already contact. Big contact. That is Jan Erlascher. Oriola's gone with him, and it's caused absolute mayhem and pandemonium. Vernet's in trouble. Michelis in trouble. Huff is in there. And Tarquini's trying to get through, but he's got big damage. Tarquini's got damage to the front, and the car has stopped. Tarquini might be out of this race already.
But that was Pepe Oriola made a good start, but Muller and Erlascher made absolutely blinding starts behind him. Then Erlascher is sort of acting like a bit of a wingman for Muller going into Lisboa on lap 1. Oriola just tried to do it all on the brakes, lost it up. He did a classic. It was almost like a copybook version of Mehdi Benani in race 1.
Yeah, he tagged Erlascher under brakes, didn't he?
Now Gabriele's limping back to the pits, but I think he is his race 2 has run.
Yeah,
I saw bits of his car all over the track.
He's never going to score points. He's going to have to move over and let the cars behind go through, which is exactly what he's doing. But I don't think we're going to get a safety car call, because I think all of the cars that were there at Lisboa have managed to get started again. Timo
Schneider's not looking back.
Look at him go. He's disappeared out in front of the rest of the field.
So where is Ivan? Where's Ivan now? 4th. This is going to make a massive impact on the points. With Tarquini definitely out.
Well, he could do with another one.
To get through that. That could have easily concertinaed, pushed Erlascher down into Ivan Muller, but
well, Muller could
Ivan's got away with it.
Muller could do with getting into 3rd position, because as we mentioned, if Tarquini's not going to score points in this race, 2 podiums in these 2 races will make Muller the champion by 1 point. So if Tarquini doesn't finish this race, which is now likely, and then obviously might struggle to score points again in race 3, Muller needs 2 podiums. 4th position would not be enough.
Now the problem for Ivan Muller is Timo Scheider and Vervish, their cars, they're very slippery, they're very good in a straight line. But Muller has been faster than all these 3. Remember, it's the reverse grid. So Muller has track speed over all these 3.
And it's exactly what you said yesterday when we said 33 points and he could score 34 with Tarquini scoring nothing. You said it's perfectly doable. And now Muller is proving it could be done. He's already having a look at Chekon. Chekon's trying to squeeze him. That's how much damage Tarquini's got. His race is over. There's no way that's going to be able to finish the race. But what is happening with Chekon and Muller? Unfortunately, we left it at exactly the wrong moment. I don't think Muller's got through, but Chekon is definitely going to give him a hard time. Look, he's defending like crazy.
Well, Chekon wants a podium. It's Macau. It's one of the blue ribbon races of the year, so he wants to try and get on the podium. But Vervish has closed Schneider down very quickly, hasn't he?
Yeah, Vervish, of course, is in the Audi, and we know that the Audi is very good in a straight line. So Vervish is going to push Timo Scheider for what could be Frederik Vervish's 1st win of the season. His best result of the year is a 2nd, and he's done it twice at the Nürburgring and Wuhan.
As well.
Huff is out, Vernet is out. They've both got big damage. Now, well, Vernet might be able to get going again, but Vernet out, Huff out, Tarquini out. That's the big one, though. That's the championship leader.
That's going to be a real wounder for Vernet. He got himself quite comfortably into 3rd in the championship and was looking pretty. He got good pace in the Audi, WRT Audi, so he was looking pretty for a podium at the end of the year, but that's going to put pace to that.
No safety car. No safety car at all, so it's game over for 3 of the big names already. I Micheletti actually got away with all of that. Erlascher somehow, despite getting tagged in by Oriola, is in fifth.
Erlascher, he's managed to stay in fifth.
Oriola's out, but Erlascher got away with it. How did he get away with that?
I've no idea how he got away with that.
He's in fifth place now. Chekhov's got Muller all over the back of him. Look, that's Tarquini. No, that's Michelis trying to get back. What carnage already on the first couple of laps here at Macau.
Now the BRC guys need to feverishly work hard on this because, you know, it's a fresh restart for race 3, so they just resume their grid positions as long as they can make it possible.
Vervish has got Scheider on the run, and we know how fast this Audi is in a straight line. He will have learnt from what J.K. Venet did to Muller in the early stages of yesterday's race. He's got Scheider on the brake. He's got him in the draft. Is there going to be an opportunity into Lisboa? Scheider will be defending like mad. He's got so much experience of this from his DTM campaigns. Chekhov's going to do the same to Muller. Muller's going to try and go defensive. Chekhov changes his line into the braking zone. Very close indeed. Muller's giving him the hurry up. He's nudging him. Come on, Kevin, you're doing this too, Larry.
Chekhov's just driving around the inside. You'd almost say he's just deliberately blocking the Frenchman. But Vervish, he's a rookie round here, so yeah, looking for his first win. And how special would it be if he could get one here? But you'd say the Alpha and the Hyundai are now closing down the lead too, aren't they?
They really are. And Muller will want to get past Chekhov as soon as is humanly possible because he knows that third position is the bare minimum that will give him a shot at the championship. If he doesn't get the top 3 in this race, he's got to finish first or second in the second race. So he really needs a minimum of third. Let's watch again what happens. Look, Oriola in Erlascher. Oriola just too deep on the brakes.
How Erlascher gets away with that?
How is he still in fifth after all that then? Well, he just spun it and just tucked his way through. Thanks very much. You pitched me into a spin, you've left all the debris, I'll just get the place, thanks.
Yeah, Ivan Muller could win this.
Oh, look at that damage.
That is not brilliant.
That's appalling, unfortunately, for that's Michelis's car. So big damage to Michelis's car as well as Tarquini's. Both BRCs out, and that could hand the team's title on a plate to Ivan Muller Racing.
Yeah, that's very true. That's a very good point.
Because where's Ted Bjork?
Where's Ted?
I think he got caught up in it as well, actually. Ted Bjork is not running. So we lost a lot of drivers. Look, we lost Huff, Venet, Oriola, Bjork, Tarquini, and Michelis. We lost them all. So, as it turns out, 6 drivers out on the spot at Lisboa. But look at this. This is no longer 2x2 hurrah, is it? It's a quartet. Chekhov and Muller have caught up to the leading 2. And because these 3, Scheider, Vervish and Chekhov, have never even been on the podium in a major touring car race at Macau before, they are going to want this much, much more.
I'll tell you, we're all on about Vervish and Muller, but Chekhov, I think he's got aspirations.
He's going to go around the outside of Scheider. He's got him. Brilliant from Vervish. Absolutely stunning move. And now watch for Muller. He's going to do the same to Chekhov. He goes left. And he's going to try and cut him up in the braking zone. Perfect. The championship is now on for Muller.
Just manages to hang on to it under braking. Now he's got Schneider in his sights. I reckon Muller's...
If he gets past Scheider, it's more than likely he's going to win the championship. More than likely.
Well, he's still got a lot of work to do in race 2, but he should do Schneider. He's got track speed on Schneider. So Vervish is looking pretty racy, so he's going to have his work cut out, especially with the speed of the Audi down the straight.
This has suddenly come alive this weekend. Race 1 was a fairly good one. This is absolutely going to go down to the wire, but Vervish is looking good for his first win at Macau. Muller looking good for the title. 4 times World Touring Car champion Ivan Muller is trying to take on 2-time DTM champion Timo Scheider for second place at Macau. He's locking up big time under brakes. And he's really having to work for this. Chekon goes deep into Lisboa and almost chucks it all away. Jan Erlascher, despite that spin after being tagged by Pepe Oriola, is the fastest man on the racetrack. He's done a 2:32.2, and he is the fastest man on the racetrack. How is he even still mobile?
These guys are just giving it 900%, aren't they? I thought Muller was going off and going into Lisboa that lap, then Schneider, and then Chekon comes down and only just makes the corner.
Well, this is a heart heaven sent moment for Vervish, because he's getting away from these guys now. The sheer horsepower of the Audi is getting away, and that's going to be a first victory of the season for the Conti-U team. They've not had a win this year. They've had a couple of second places as Scheider pushes so hard he nearly takes the back end of the car into the barriers there at Payol. So he got very, very close there. Muller is pushing him like stink. He wants to see if he can get second. He's never going to get a better opportunity to win this title.
Yeah, the few blinks Vervish will be managing to take in his rear-view mirror. He'll be happy to see what's going on behind him, because he thinks if those guys can keep themselves busy, it gives him breathing space. And Schneider just running a little bit wide. And Muller just to get a couple of meters on him. Muller just needs it. It seems the Honda's still just got that little bit of extra speed down the straight.
Scheider's fuel filler cap is loose. I just noticed there. He's obviously tagged something somewhere.
You know what it is? It's because the G-force on the car, it's actually a magnetic thing, and it breaks the magnetic grip of the fuel filler.
That's fascinating. It's not going to compromise his performance at all, but...
Now Muller's got a good run out of Fisherman's. Just needs to stay in check.
He's going to try and set him up through R, but the thing is that Honda is so good in a straight line, so he needs to be right on it.
The Honda's good in a straight line, but Muller was very good through Reservoir and Mandarin.
So can he get into the slipstream and go for the move into Lisboa? If he can, then he's looking really good. We're on lap 6.
120-degree Reservoir. We got good slipstream on him down here. Now into the right-hander Mandarin, another 120-degree open, flat-out corner.
See, Muller's been really good. He made Scheider have a little bit of a list to one side to second-guess him. That's going to compromise him. Now Muller's going to try and go for the move. Scheider moves to cover. Muller's going to have to go the long way round. Can he outbrake him into Lisboa? They nudge each other, and Muller's got back out. Oh!
Chekon only just gets round again. Chekon's moving back into Erlascher's grips.
Poor Ivan Muller's flirting with disaster here. I love it when he's got his dander up. This is brilliant from Ivan Muller. Go, man. Timo Scheider is passable. And Muller is absolutely throwing caution to the winds here. He wants to get this second place. He knows that with Tarquini out, it's points, points, points. Grab as many as you can.
Yeah, what a result. I mean, look at the pace of all the 3 Munich Hondas. You'd have to say if they've had this all year, they'd have been right up there in the team's championship.
That's a good point, because Chekon is there in 4th position. Any chance of victory is slowly fading, but now he's got it in stereo. Erlascher and Guerreri are working together in tandem to try and eat into the Mulsanne Alpha. So we've got a trio up in front. We've got a trio for 4th. In 7th is Benani. He's finally having a good race. Bertot in 8th. Ferrara is 9th again. And Aurelien Panis is in the top 10. So there's quite a few people who will get a benefit from the 6 big names that have gone. Because we've had... Oh, Rob Huff has actually got going again, interestingly. So Rob Huff is now down at the back, but he has continued. So they've decided to get him out there. I think he wants a fastest lap from this race. He just wants something.
Yeah, we're all looking at the lead battle, but the good scrap is really emulating for 4th. Chekon, young flamboyant Italian with 2 real hard chargers behind him with Erlascher and Guerreri.
Frederik Vervish leading the way here at Macau with, at the end of this lap, there will be 2 to go. And there's only going to be 2 laps for Ivan Muller to get on terms with the double DTM champion, Timo Scheider. Ivan Muller is a 4-time World Touring Car champion, and he wants to be the first ever winner of the FIA World Touring Car Cup. And he's never going to get a better shot of it. Here he goes, through the left-hand flick, right in the slipstream, through Reservoir, down the straight. Second guessing where to make Scheider put the car. through Hotel Mandarin. You've got to get this line absolutely spot on. Scheider's second guessing where he's going to put the car. His first time at Macau this weekend, don't forget, so he's learning by doing. He pulls across so Muller can't get him. Muller's going to try and come around the far side. Muller's going to slingshot up the inside. He's going to leave his braking late. And they are going to nudge each other in the braking zone. Now Muller's going to get a run on the inside of Scheider. Brilliant defending.
I've been pretty choked. I thought Schneider had all four wheels locked up going into Lisboa there.
Oh, it's so close. So brilliantly close between these two. Ivan Muller going for the title. His main rival Tarquini out of the race. He knows he's got to get as many points as possible. Meanwhile, behind these guys, they've done a trade of positions. Guerreri has got past Erlacher. Now that's tactical because Guerreri can finish higher in the championship than Jan Erlacher, and he wants to bag as many points as he can.
Well, you know, Erlacher might be a bit walking wounded after that first lap shunt, so maybe Munich have just decided to let him let him go and see if he can have a crack at the Alpha in front of him.
New fastest lap of the race, the man in dead last, the Duke of Cambridge, Rob Huff. He's still out there to prove a point in dead last, but we're on the penultimate lap, and Ivan Muller has actually dropped off the back of Timo Scheider by a couple of car lengths, so he's got to try on this lap to get it all back again, and he's already doing that.
Problem with Muller, he's running with the close proximity. He's been running to the Honda in front of him. That's going to cost him engine temperature, it's going to cost him tyre temperature, and that's going to cost him speed. So he might just have been dropped back for a little bit of a breather for one last crack at it. But
did you see how nervous the Continu boys looked on the pit wall?
Who's that?
That's Panis.
Aurelian Panis.
So that's Panis from 10th. So that gives the 10th position to John Filippi, but he's got going again. So that's no safety car, that's no red flag. Good, we want this fight to go to the wire, and this might be, going into the last lap, this could be Ivan Muller's last chance to get second position. He will still be in title winning position if he finishes third, but that means in the third race, if Tarquini doesn't get points, he's got to finish in the top three no matter what.
Muller needs two third places, but he needs his second place. You know, it's going to be a tough ask for him in race 3, so he needs this position if he can get it at all.
Here we go, through Reservoir, down the straight again, lining up Scheider, and he's going to have to be right on him at Hotel Mandarin. He looks to the right, Scheider's not going to take the bait, through the right. Muller's going to be in the slipstream as they come down the straight up towards Lisboa once again. Muller looks to one way, Scheider dives to the right side to try and make sure that there's not going to be any defensive move. Now Muller's going to try and make the switch back and possibly hold the line to the inside, but Scheider's wise to the move. They go through Lisboa, Muller trying to get the switch back into San Francisco Hill. Not going to happen.
No, I fear it's all over. Now it's going to be very difficult to...
Gabrielli.
Well,
and Portnoy as well. Both cars out on that Lisboa incident. No points for the BRC team.
New front end on Tarquini's Hyundai already, so that's a positive. But
Ivan Muller's not giving up. He doesn't do giving up.
He's pushing. He just wants one chink in Schneider's armour. Just one small mistake and he'll be through.
But for Frederick Vervisch, this is going to be Christmas come early, isn't it? The Audi Comte boys have yet to take a win this year.
Well, if he's going to have any place to party after the win, it's the end of the season in Macau, isn't it? So
this is going to be such a fairy tale victory
whether
for
he
Vervisch.
makes his flight home.
But for second place, Scheider is trying to hang on in front of Ivan Muller, and he's got every reason to be happy if he manages to keep him back, to be fair, in second place. Scheider loves Macau. This is his first visit, and he's fallen head over heels in love with this place. But he will still be very happy to get a second place finish because he knows that the Audi's got more power and more grunt than the Honda. So the fact that he's kept Ivan Muller behind him will be very satisfying if he can do it. There's a lot of tension at Comte. We might just get a victory in Macau of all places. And Vervisch has got the job done now.
Oh, Muller just clipping the apex curve there.
Muller's still trying.
Armco.
Well, he's still trying. I'm not sure he's going to get the run here now because they've obviously got only Fisherman's and R to go. But for Frederick Vervisch, this is a very nice early Christmas present. He's had some good performances over the course of the year. He's had 2 second-place finishes, Frederick Vervisch. He's spent 6 years in Blancpain, P2 at the Nürburgring and at Wuhan, but in the final turn, he's got the job done. Frederick Vervisch wins in Macau race 2. The Comte boys get their first win of the season. Look at them, and look at how emotional they are down there. That's what it means to them. Scheider is second, Muller is third, and now if he gets another third place in the third race, he's the champion by 1 point.
Well, I feel for Ivan there. I think he drove hard and well all the way. He deserved better than that, but two rookies in the top three, first and second, two rookies. Okay, it was the reverse grid, but they hung on, no mistakes, and that was a terrific scrap. But
Muller thumbs up to Scheider. Two of the best touring car racers on the planet. Scheider, a double king of DTM. Muller, a four-time king of world touring cars. Thumbs up to each other. They both gave as good as they got. But for Vervish, what a victory.
I think that win's been coming for a long time this year, hasn't it? Vervish, he's been threatening, and he's been on the podium how many times? He was the first driver of the Come To You team, really sort of get going. From Nürburgring onwards, he's been a real threat to the rest of the grid. 6
times he's been on the podium this year. Ivan Muller visits the podium for the 12th time. 4 more visits than Gabriele Tarquini, by the way. But Frederik Vervish, the Belgian, takes his first win in the FIA World Touring Car Cup. And that makes it the 9th different team to take a victory this year. How many teams we got on the grid? Only 12. That's fantastic.
Well, here's a scenario for you, Jake. What if they can't get J.K. Vernay's or Pepe Oriola's car going for race 3, and Tarquini's okay? Does that propel him further to the top 10, so into the points?
He would go up to 12th if that was the case.
Okay, but it's closer to getting in the
closer
points,
to the points. All he needs is well, if Muller finishes in the top 3, Tarquini's got to score as many points as possible. But if Muller is 3rd and Tarquini is 10th, Tarquini will get the title.
Will he? Because when they tie on points and Muller's had more wins?
Tarquini's had more wins.
Has he had more wins?
5 wins to Muller's 3. This is such a nail-biting finale coming up, isn't it? Fair play to Ivan Muller. He rolled his sleeves up and went, right, let's go for it. And he gave it everything he had and everything the car had. But 3rd position is okay.
Well, I think if Muller doesn't win the championship today, he can be proud of how he's driven. He was driving ultra hard then, but ultra clean as well.
Time Certain Clock on Twitter says, cracking race, surprised there wasn't a red flag. Bring on race 3. I'm glad there wasn't a red flag. We got a great nail-biting race.
To start with, I thought there's got to be a red flag. We'll have a restart or anything. But no, they all got going, so it was we were lucky with that one.
Well, what an absolutely incredible race. Frederik Vervish is a first-time winner at Macau. Emotional scenes down here in pit road. 2 races at Macau and 2 wins for Audi. 1 for JK Vernet, but 1 for the first time this year for Fred Vervish. What a drive. What a brilliant, brilliant race for him.
Yeah, real monkey off the back of Frederick Vervish there. Great. As I say, it's been a long time coming. He's deserved that before this one, but what a weekend and what a venue to get it at. It's he'll certainly be partying hard into the night tonight. I hope his flight back isn't too early tomorrow morning.
We keep saying, don't we, if you win at Macau, you are one of the greats. It doesn't matter how you won it. If you win here, you are one of the greats. Alexandre Le Gui is down there with Fred Vervish.
What a race. 29th race, 15 different winners. Fred Vervish, I bet when you came to Macau as a rookie, you did not be expecting to be standing on this top step.
No, for sure not. And I mean, even with the 60 kilo success ballast we take, I didn't expect it, but GK proved otherwise yesterday, and I knew there was a chance, maybe my best chance this year, to win the race. I didn't win. I was the only one in the top 10 that didn't win a race, so now I won a race in Macau for the first time, so super happy with the Audi car. Obviously it helped me a lot, but really happy for the team, for everybody. I'm really, really happy.
Timo didn't make it easy for you, and then you had Timo and Ivan right behind you. What was it like looking in that rear view mirror?
Yeah, I mean, you have to look a lot in front as well to not touch any guardrails, but obviously I was looking at them and I saw the pace was more or less okay, so I didn't push extremely hard, but I was trying to find the right balance, just take the victory, and the rest I didn't care. It was the only thing that mattered, so very happy.
As Alexandre Le Gui rightly pointed out, 15th different race winner in 29 races. You can't tell me this isn't a great format.
You'd almost say it's rigged, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. What a great format. It's absolutely brilliant.
You know, we were on about the championship being nail-biting at the front. But for third place with Jean-Carl Vernet not scoring that time, Ted Bjorg not scoring, Pepe Arla not scoring, you've now got a points difference of only 18 points between third and 8th in the championship.
Vervish wins from Scheider and Muller, Checon, Guerreri and Erlascher, Bernani, Berton, Ferrara and Panis are the remaining point scorers, with John Philippe in 11th from Aurélien Comte. Jingmar is there in 13th from Gordon Shedden, then Dupont and Coronel. Hommler, Kevin Say is the first of the Macanese drivers home. He'll be happy with that. Felipe Souza, Andre Couto, Billy Lowe and David Jabot will be there in 22nd ahead of Norbert Nagy. Rob Huff came home 24th, not last in the end, because he did manage to get past Ted Bjork, who came out onto the circuit as well. But the fastest lap of the race, ironically enough, Rob Huff. He just doesn't do slow around here, does he? But look, that's the important thing. There's now just 18 points between Tarquini and Muller. And that is going to be an amazing showdown, because how many points are there for third? 19. If he gets top 3 and Tarquini doesn't score, Muller could still win this championship. Yeah,
and it's definitely hotting up, as I say, 3rd to 8th. It's anybody, any of that next 5 could finish on the podium in the final hurrah.
So yeah, there is a point for 10th position. So whatever happens, Muller's got to finish on the podium to win the title. He cannot be off the podium in race 3. Race 1 was good, race 2, a million times better. Right from the start, we had drama. Scheider and Vervish getting away beautifully. Muller maximising his potential at the start as well. Kevin Checon staying with them. But then Oriola connected with Erlascher. Erlascher spinning and hitting the wall and somehow keeping going. But Oriola went into Vernet, Micheliz and Huff. Absolute carnage and chaos on the run to Lisboa. Somehow Erlascher kept going. Micheliz out. Tarquini out. Oriola out. And Ted Bjork and Huff compromised, but that's the winning move. Vervish maximising the power from the Audi. Muller desperately trying to get back on terms with Timo Scheider. Aurélien Panis clipping the wall. But for Fred Vervish, he becomes the 15th different race winner in 2018 in 29 races. An amazing victory for the ComTU team, and we now have a title thriller. So now we're waiting for the podium ceremony, but it's going to be a very happy man on the top step of the podium.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium of our second race here in Macau of the FIA World Touring Car Cup by Oscaro. Please welcome onto the podium from Ivan Muller Racing, it's Ivan Muller.
He has to finish now, Ivan Muller, on the podium in the third and final race to win the title, but it's all about where Tarquini will finish in race 3. But now it's game on. It's really game on.
In second position from allinkle.com, it's Timo Scheider.
His first visit to Macau, a second place finish in his second ever start at Macau. Not bad for a double DTM champion, eh?
And please welcome onto the podium from Audi Sport Team come to you, it's Frederick Vervisch.
The 15th different race winner of the year, the 32-year-old from Roeselare in Belgium. What an amazing result. The team are delighted.
Representing Audi Sport Team come to you is Jean-Michel Bart.
And so is JM. Jean-Michel, a very worthy winner for the team's title as well. Brilliant performance. Time for the Belgian national anthem.
Vervisch and Audi Sport Team come to you.
There's going to be some very happy people back at the factory at Waterloo. Very, very happy guys there. A brilliant victory for Fred Vervisch. Totally deserved.
The President of Marketing Strategy of Sun City Group, Chong Yong Men, will present our third position trophy to Ivan Muller Racing's Ivan Muller.
So now the championship fight is really on for Ivan Muller. He has to finish on the podium to have any chance of winning the title in race 3. But Tarquini is now severely compromised with that DNF. Here we go for Ivan Muller in race 3. There's a great chance to get this done now.
Mr. Chon Yong Meng will also be kind enough to present our second position trophy to Allinkle's Timo Scheider.
A great performance for the 40-year-old from Lunstein, Timo Scheider. His best performance of the season before this was 8th in race 1.
And Mr. Chon Yong
second
Men
place.
will also be very kind to present our winning trophy to Audi Sport Team come to use Frederick Vervisch.
But Fred Vervisch has got the ultimate victory for anybody in this championship. A win at Macau is huge. And that's a brilliant way for the team to end their season, isn't it?
will also be kind enough to present our winning team trophy to Audi Sport Team come to use representative Jean-Michel Bart.
That's such a big moment for the team. They are effectively the number 2
Please all come
team
together for your official photographs.
for Audi this year in this championship, because a lot of it has all been about the Leopard Lukoil team. So this is a nice moment for Audi Sport Com to you. So now we've got one race left in the championship, and it's going to be a proper showdown, Matt, at Macau, exactly how we wanted it.
And a second photo with just the drivers and teams, please.
I think Audi can be thankful this is the last race of the championship, because
Gents,
in
if you could just
the
come together
balance
on
of
top step
performance
before you pick up your
after
champagne.
this weekend,
One more photo.
I think they'll be fairly laden down. They're heavy this
Fred.
weekend, and they've still come up with results. So
it's going to be quite hard for Audi to take a third win, actually, looking at the grid for the next race.
Party.
well, it is
Ready?
with Rob Huff on pole. You'd
Bottles
say
up.
give Rob Huff clean air, and he's going to be gone, isn't he?
But it's up to Ivan Muller now. He has to finish on the podium in race 3. And Tarquini just needs to finish in the points. He's just got to find a way back there. But for Frederick Vervisch, it's party time. Whatever happens from now, he's the 15th different winner. Join us again for race 3.